Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 41.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. We have a full show for you today. We got a little bit of Bulldogs, a little bit of Blaze, a little bit of Panthers.
And then we're going to talk some Stampede, and we've got a great interview with Corey Jackson and Bruce Downey. So it's been a really great day.
Yeah, no, full show. So let's get at her. Our title sponsor is
Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay.
Hey North Bay, it's time to celebrate. The city is turning 100, and Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay invites you to the party. Be at home in our spacious suites, each featuring a kitchen. Yeah, a real kitchen. Also, enjoy our comfy living spaces and brand new fitness gear so you can keep feeling great while staying on budget. Planning a big bash or business event? We've got the perfect meeting spaces right here on site. Plus, with our partnerships at The Grand and Stock Transportation, your guests and delegates are in great hands. Want to know the best part? We're right beside the beautiful Cape Paceway, steps to North Bay's lively waterfront, and moments from downtown's shopping, dining, and entertainment. Celebrate the Centennial with us all year long with an exclusive discount. Just use the code Centennial when booking your stay. Be at home with Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. Join the party today at 495 Oak Street West or call us at 705-495-3000.
So I saw a posting about the baseball tournament this weekend. What was going on there?
So we had our U13 Sandlot series. So this is our third weekend of looks like 5 baseball tournaments that we're going to host. So this one was the first one where we had to encounter what to do with weather. So we got a couple of emails from the teams. We had teams coming from Clarington and Northumberland, so Coburg and Bowmanville area, I guess. And we had Ottawa Valley. We had Dorchester and Seaway that I think might have been near London. So it was a great tournament, really like starting to see the reach of it. But they were asking, like, what are we going to do if it rains? They're coming up, and they were staying in hotels. So, full credit to Laura for all the work that she and Caden Long did to kind of try to tweak the schedule, figure it out. And we moved and condensed the Saturday games so that we could get done by the time the weather came in at 2. And so we were there raking the fields and getting everything ready at like 6 in the morning so the teams could warm up on Saturday. Got all the games in, and no kidding, like when the final game stopped, there was some rain that came down, and by the time we packed up all of our stuff in the tents, like it came down in a downpour, and obviously everything that happened, and hope everyone's okay along Highway 17 because that was quite a weather event. And then the next morning, the field survived. We had to throw down kitty litter and do a bunch of work to get the fields ready for the semis and all the placement games. But we had a fantastic finish. The Junior Voyageurs from Valley East and Sudbury defeated the Ottawa Valley Expos 7-6 with a 3-run home run in the top of the 7th. And they were able to hang on with even the help of maybe a slightly controversial call to end it. But amazing response from all the teams from out of town. They couldn't say enough about the tournament, and they all want to come back. So I
heard there were some dingers hit.
And it was the perfect size. We decided to move this from fields we were supposed to so we could have both fields going at the same time. Creates a nice tournament atmosphere. And we had to dig up all the bases because we've got the posts to put them in. So we had to stretch the field as big as it could go, and that left some room for some kids to put them out of the yard. And there's nothing cooler than watching that and the home run celebrations. So I saw some big home runs hit, and there was, I think, 2 or 3 in that final game. So no, it was a great tournament, and congratulations to Valley East. We've got the champagne celebration that we're trying to make the tradition in North Bay, and they were really excited by it. So
cool. Yeah. When's the next tournament?
So the next tournament, we actually take 2 weekends off because this weekend, so you're watching this Friday, go down to Vets and check out the senior men's tournament.
The Dave Sad.
Yep. I know the 11Us, we're going to be in Innisfil for a tournament this weekend, but we'll get back at it, with more tournaments in July. So
the Blaze looked like they were on a tournament down south, and they had a couple good exhibition games. The U15, they had a strong showing. They beat Barrie. That's a 19-2.
9-2 and 12-3 over Newmarket.
So that's good experience for them. Yeah. They looking forward to one of their tournaments here.
So yeah, and I know the new look Blaze, they look really, really good on the field, and I know the 13Us are going to be in Barrie as well this weekend for a tournament, and they're looking to host a 13 and 15U in the August long weekend. Now it's kind of like a last minute addition to that tournament, so I think they're working hard to see if they can get some teams up here. But
cool.
And they'll be hosting provincials on, I believe, the 17th of August weekend too. So lots of softball going on. Like they're really working hard, and we see the girls at the field while we're there with baseball. So it's been good and great partnership. I want to say a big thank you to Kirk Brown for, loaning us, whenever we need the extra help with the shed or for storing our stuff, for, raking the field. We really have a good thing where, if they need our bases, we need their bases. Everybody's working, and it's great to see that sort of partnership. So yeah, ball is alive and well in North Bay.
I was at the some football on Sunday. I caught the Tykes. They were. I was only there for a little while. I missed all the scoring in the first half, and I just caught the second part of the second quarter. I got a little bit of video of them playing some really good, strong defense.
Yep.
And a little bit of other stuff. They won again.
Okay.
So the Tyke team there is doing very well. So Tykes U12 Bulldogs against Toronto Junior Argos. They finished the game 16-8. So I didn't miss anything in the second half. I had a celebration of life to go to, and so I missed out on the second game. Not sure what the score was, but I bet you if they would have won, it would have been posted.
It would have been posted, yeah. Yeah.
I think, and this weekend on Saturday night, the senior team is scheduled to play GTA, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because there's still some
6 o'clock
uncertainty around teams in the league, I think.
Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot of news, and interesting if anybody from the senior team, Mark Mathon and those guys could bring us up to speed so we can help promote their stuff. We haven't talked about it, but did you see the Nick and Will Laporte fight on the on ice stuff?
So I haven't actually seen it. I saw, I guess, maybe some, but clear like videos and stuff teasing it or coming out like a weigh-in or just some promo shots.
I saw the fights.
Saw the fights, and
they ragdolled. This was about 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So June 14th was the fights.
Yeah,
and this is the. They say it's bare knuckle, but it's not. They have actually gloves on. But Nick and Will manhandled their opponents, and they were the stars.
Yeah.
Nick especially came out just swinging,
Really?
Pummeled this guy. The guy didn't know what he was up against. No, same weight, smaller, so he had a significant size advantage. Yeah. And Will wasn't much nicer to his opponent. So, and then I think this weekend they were in Saskatchewan and out west. They're doing
circuit kind of going around.
Yeah,
I feel like this feels like a reboot to me. I thought somebody tried to start this maybe even 10 years ago with ex-fighters from the NHL.
Yeah,
but maybe that's one of the things it needed was some gloves to sort of some fight gloves for a little bit of protection as opposed to bare knuckles.
They were wearing helmets because of the ice, right?
Yeah.
So, but excellent fights.
Yeah.
I think we'll find a poster of some sort for it. And anyways, that was related to football sometimes because Nick was going to be on the team.
Yeah.
Right?
So is he trying to do both, or the fights have kind of maybe pulled it away?
I think he should just follow what he's doing there. He's he's become a real bloodless star. And of course that goes in with his acting thing, right? That role that he
being
plays.
on Shoresy and stuff. Yeah.
Oh no, he's got something happening there.
Oh, good for him.
And he plays the part.
Yeah.
And these guys were geared up for a real fight.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big part of it. I mean, you want to be able to sell that fight. You want to be able to, create some intrigue and want to watch it. Two guys that, seem like they're friends or they're just going about it as business is not the same as, even if it is, been created behind the scenes, it just adds to it. I love, you need a good villain.
So how have your travels been?
Well, it was
your source for sports.
It was a very busy week last week. So we were set up at the One Kids Place golf tournament, which I know
saw your interviews on the Monday.
You guys did a great job.
You're really raising the bar here.
I'm trying. Well, you know what? It's these
journalists
kids,
and all.
Well, exactly. I'm wearing that with pride. I still don't think I come anywhere near close to qualifying for it, but it was great. You know, the setup that we had, Ben and Chris coming and getting everything for us at the course, and then having the girls there. We were really well received by all the golfers and One Kids Place for the job that they did. I'm super proud of watching those girls work because they all kind of had different roles. Huge, proud, father moment watching my daughter kind of interact with these businesses, give them the pitch of why they were there. I interviewed Olivia Purcell. She was our ringer golfer who was lights out hitting balls on the par 3, and if she landed them on the green, then the companies there would agree to let the girls come and provide a pitch for why they should be sponsored by the particular businesses, and explain too that they want more than just a name on a shirt. They want to find out about the businesses, their roles in the community, how they're supportive, any roles that there might be for women in those companies, so that these girls can maybe open their eyes and expand their horizons for what they might want to do when they're done with school. And all in all, it was a fantastic event, and then packed all of that up and got in the car early in the morning, and I was down in my own golf tournament that I got to play with Source for Sports in Niagara. So, and that kicked off our buying show. So we were looking at all the summer sports that we're going to purchase for next year to sell. So we had got to see a lot of new exciting product. We get to see stores from across the country kind of sit in marketing meetings, share ideas, best practices of what's working well at our stores. And I got to talk to a lot of different baseball companies, particularly Rawlings Easton, because they're supporters of our Sandlot ball series, the tournaments, and they loved everything we were doing. So they're, kind of on board to help us continue to raise the bar on that, and made it back home in time to run the baseball tournament. So it was a whirlwind week for me, but I'm absolutely loving it. Like everything. It's busy, but it's so much fun, and there's so many new challenges that it keeps it exciting.
Well, the Source for Sports is playing a big role in the community for all types of activities in sports. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, and it's thank you to everyone in North Bay for the continued support that we get, because it really makes it easy to do that when you see the effect that we're having and the positive results. So.
Well, our interview with Bruce Downey went exceptionally well, I think.
In addition to Bruce calling me a journalist, which was very... I thought it was a great interview because he's really... You can just think of the thoughtfulness of his answers. Mm-hmm. And maybe not... I don't think we knew or where it was going to go. But a lot of our interviews are kind of like that. But this one really just, followed a journey of both how sports are intertwined with the roles of as a teacher and the guidance and giving guidance to kids and talking about how they pass that on.
Well, the most important thing I think from these conversations is being able to hear from somebody that's working in that field, has experience, has something to offer in that discussion. I think, as he was saying afterwards, he felt really comfortable because we were talking about things that he had knowledge base on. Mm-hmm. He was most concerned that we'd head into an area where he couldn't actually contribute. But obviously, we're talking about mentoring kids, using sport as part of that mentorship, about life coaching, which he is. And I think, I personally wish I had a life coach like that.
Yeah.
And a student counselor or somebody that helped guide me. So it's a great conversation. It's good for parents to listen to. It's good for students. Anybody interested in the interaction of learning about life in an environment and making positive steps forward.
Yeah, you really get one of the things I loved too that he said was when you asked about advice, like what's the best sort of advice you can give, and his advice was kind of to listen. Yeah, and let them sort of guide the conversation and figure it out. So I thought that was amazing, and so enjoy this interview. I think it shines a light on some of the unsung heroes that maybe operate behind the scenes about and just reinforce why and how sport and other activities can be such an integral part of of our lives.
Yeah, and I really like the part where we talked about, and you're only going to get a little snippet of this, 5 minutes or so of a lot longer conversation. Yep. Check out the full conversation. But at one point we talk about the responsibility still lies in the individual. It's a matter of having the individual feeling comfortable enough to understand their responsibility and take action for themselves and asking for help when they need it. So here's Bruce Downey. Today we have Bruce Downey. Appreciate you coming in today.
Pleased to be here.
Yeah, you have an extensive experience with sports and an interesting angle as far as helping kids with their perspective on sport. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, I guess it all ties into education, teaching. So I guess I've been involved with education and coaching, teaching, coaching, the same thing, just a different medium for about 41 years. And I was fortunate early in my career to teach a variety of grades, and then the last 15 I was in guidance. And that's where I found the real interest, where you'd see kids coming in at 14, and you'd open up their student record and you could see pictures if they didn't miss school photo days. And then you'd see them maybe coming into grade 11 or grade 13. And maturation's a slow process. In adolescence, we've all gone through it. But it's just been interesting to be part of that journey with them, just to see their progress and maybe help them along, often through sports.
Yeah. I remember my guidance counselor in high school. He was also my basketball coach briefly, because we had to pull the team from the league because nobody wanted to play us. We weren't good enough. That was an interesting sort of thing. That's a tough vocation, really. A lot of people to think about and worry about. And
I think the timing for myself, I really enjoyed it. There was much more descriptive of our role, where we had very specific responsibilities around education and career planning. But when it came to concerns, if we dealt with some suicides, attempted suicides, cutting, we had a variety of counselors we could bring in. So a lot of it was facilitating. And it just, what I enjoyed, just catching things in its early stages. But I enjoyed the team aspect, working with various teachers and administration, and getting the kids involved in school, cultivate some passions. I thought one of them was sports. We read kids that come in grade 9 for course registrations with their parents, and after we'd finished the courses, they just assumed they were on their way. But I would want to find out what the student coming into grade 9 would like to do, and if he had any thoughts on trying some new sports. So after his parents would leave, I'd take them right down to the phys ed complex and introduce them to some of the coaches and just say, you're going to get out of high school what you put into it. And they'd often, it was the first time they tried football or cross country or the art club. And it was just, and ironically, we just had a reunion at Northern. I was there in the 90s for 9 years. And so these students, maybe they didn't remember me or recognize me, and I didn't recognize them, but they were now in their 40s and their 50s. And it was interesting that weekend. And I knew, like, as an educator, yeah, we're responsible to develop skills and cover curriculum, but these are kids, right? They're adolescents. And my mother, who always had a lot of respect for as a teacher, she felt that if you feel you can make a difference in education, you will. And if you feel you don't, you won't. And the kids will pick up on that. And I just thought I really focused on that, regardless of the age or the course. And just to see some of those students years later and the conversations we had just reaffirmed that. It's to me, it's anytime I bump into them, it's just you don't get paid for this. Like I would do it all over again. But I thought for the first 8 years, I couldn't believe I got paid to do the job. I loved it, right? I was coaching all the time, taking the kids all over. But you have no idea. The cool thing is you have no idea, like what those kids when they leave, and it's often the characters, the ones that, even with our settings today, all kids conform to the educational environment. But if they hang in there and they've got some passion, and you meet them years later, you have no idea sometimes what they're going to end up doing, and it's great, right? It's really inspiring. Any
examples? Just you don't have to say names, but just
there was one guy, and I thought he was going to run me over. It was during COVID, and I was walking my dog, and he had this huge truck, and he rolled his window down, and he goes, "Hey, Mr. D," and I looked, and he looked familiar. So he stopped and turned the truck off, and he says, "You don't remember me?" And then I did, right? And I think he was surprised. And he said, "I just remember you and I, we got along and we talked in guidance, and you talked about some of your growing up where it wasn't easy." And he said, "You knew what I was dealing with." But he wanted to tell me. He wanted to tell me who he was working for. He had a permanent job, pension benefits. He had kids. And I knew he had a tough growing up, but he wanted to tell me what he was doing. And I really appreciated that, right? And that was right in the middle of COVID.
Dear North Bay, as a single mom and full-time student, life can feel overwhelming and budgets are always tight. But one thing I never question is how deeply I care about my community. When I began volunteering at the North Bay Regional Health Centre, I saw firsthand how much the healthcare system means to people, especially when life takes an unexpected turn. It made me think, what if it was my child, my parent, or my friend that was in need of care? That's when I realized I wanted to do more, to be part of something bigger than myself. I joined the I Give monthly club because even a small monthly gift can have a meaningful impact, helping ensure everyone in our community has access to the care they need right here at home. If you believe in strong, local health care, I hope you'll join me. Sign up at nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125. It's simple and it matters. With gratitude, Kim Cosgrove.
Again, very great conversation with Bruce Downey. Please check out the full conversation on our YouTube page, North Bay Echo. I think that one's worth a listen, and you'll enjoy that.
Yeah. And then next week in our conversation with Corey Jackson, talking about Action MMA's event on August 23rd. That is going to be the first one in North Bay that
for quite a while.
2018 or something, was that what we talked about?
Well, no, I think their last quest for the Voyager title held in Mattawa was 2018.
Okay.
So this is their 7th, but they did 6 as part of the Voyager weekends.
Gotcha.
And then there was a departure after with COVID and a few other things. And this is one of the first ones in North Bay, kickboxing in a couple decades, really.
Yeah. Okay.
So
and that's at West Ferris, and there's lots of details in it, but it sounds like it's going to be a great event.
And again, if you listen to him talk, and I have to cut him off sometimes because he's really passionate about how combat martial arts actually is part of life coaching. And the people that get involved find a purpose and an avenue where they can do it in a healthy and a structured environment. I know Corey, and I know a lot of the fighters that have gone through there. Some of them have straightened out their lives through the discipline needed to be in there, because you can't be a jerk off in a club like that. And it teaches many levels of maturity.
I loved when he talked about, basically those people walking through the door and it changing lives. So I couldn't think of a better tie-in to the conversation with Bruce, because it really does encompass like how wide range sports can have with that sort of mental health and wellness.
Yeah. So let's talk to Corey Jackson of Action MMA for their kickboxing event August 23rd. So Corey Jackson from Action MMA, you got a big event coming up there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we do. We just released that we have Quest for the Title 7 being happening August 23rd in North Bay at the West Ferris Arena. And we're really excited to finally bring it to North Bay for our athletes and the people.
How many locals are fighting in this on this card? And it's kickboxing. It's kickboxing?
It is kickboxing, yeah. It's full contact, and it's sanctioned through WACO Canada. So everything's safe, fair play. It's just a great environment and atmosphere for people to come out and see the respect, and the hard work that these athletes are doing. We will have a full card of North Bay athletes. As you know, we're very active. We just got off of being in Timmins June 21st at True North Fights, which was, we had 8 athletes there. So for us to fill a card in North Bay for our athletes, is big. The reason why we're here is to be able to, bring it to our athletes, for our athletes to display in front of their friends and family, because a lot of times we're going 5, 6, 4, 3 hours to travel, and it's not often that our loved ones get to take the time or make the time to go the distance. So here we're, bringing it home. Our athletes get to wake up, make weight at home, and display and shine on the big stage. And I mean big stage.
Who was fighting in Timmins? I want to know. Who fought up there?
We had Kaylee Cormier. We had these are new athletes and young athletes. Let me see. There was Bradley Gardner, Aiden Danvers. The list goes on.
There's a couple of those guys are going to be fighting August 23rd too, eh?
Pardon?
A couple of those guys are going to be fighting August 23rd too, eh?
I'm pretty sure a lot of them will be after their last display at our in-house at True North Fights. As a coach, I'm really watching to see, their work ethic, their commitment, to saying yes to a fight. I'm a no-nonsense kind of guy, show up, make weight, fight hard, enjoy the experience and the ride, and have a memory to never forget. For these 12 athletes that will be on that card, chosen to be on that card, will be like the class of 2025 of Action MMA. We haven't hosted an event since 2018 in Quest Title 6.
Yeah, I was there. It was great. So we got Josh Beaton's doing a retirement fight on the 23rd of August?
Josh Beaton is going to go into the ring and have one last dance, and again, we're bringing it, for the people, our athletes and the loved ones that, don't get to really travel and make their way. So we're really excited. Josh is very close to me. We met in the same place that we work out in Twin Dragons, and now it's Action MMA. And, he's the father of my grandkids, and, he's just a great young man, developed and very high level athlete with the respect and discipline. A guy I want to be the father of my grandchildren.
Corey, the discipline and the hard work and everything that goes into the fights with these athletes, I think that is known and respected. One of the things that maybe doesn't always get known, like, talk about what goes into putting on an event like this, and maybe who are some of the unsung heroes behind the scenes, and how many sleepless nights are you going to have getting this stuff set up,
Right.
and what's that weekend look like, not just the day that the fight's there and everyone arrives.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. When the fight does get there and the fights do start to rise, and that is where we actually can really breathe. But yeah, there are some back behind the scenes people, and Jesse Wilson and his wife Sydney, taking care of our posters, working with diligently with WACO Canada, as well as my wife Francine, helping out in all of the admin and background aspects of dealing with, referees, doctors, officials, chief officials, gas, hotels, for the athletes, for the referees, also for the coaches. It's a never ending list. We're not in it to make a dollar. All we are in it is to bring it for our athletes because they deserve it. And we, as Action MMA, we bring it to the people that what they want. We give them what they want. We get them what they want. And, life is like that. You got to want what you want. And if you can do that, visualize it, be committed and determined to make it happen, boom, you've got a release like what we've got. And, we're really excited. Very, very excited. The energy at the West Ferris Arena, I think that night, I don't think will ever match to some of the others. It'll just be electric.
That's amazing. And if people want to get involved, because that's one thing I'm learning is that there are still volunteers and people who are looking for these things. So if you've got a little bit of runway now, and I'm sure there's lots to get done before then, if anybody wants to be involved, whether it's sponsor or get tickets or be a part, how can they? What's the best way to get in contact with you for that?
Yeah, they can reach out to us on our Action MMA business page on Facebook or our website, actionmma.ca, and reach out to us, or even action.jackson@live.ca for a personal email message through there. And, we can get them hooked up. We have sponsorship packages already made up. We're just waiting for them to come out from the press. Now that we've released our media real release, we're like full steam ahead. The action is fully packed for all of us as the coaches, as well as the athletes. Training camp is really basically already started for as far as they know. We've got 2 months left, and before you know it, the first bell will ring August 23rd at the West Ferris Arena at Center Ice.
I noticed you got a new sign there at your place at the old Regis.
Yeah, thank you for asking, and it's very historical for us to have that put up there. Everybody has a path and a background. All I had was my name, 125 pounds and 4 garbage bags. So for me, when I moved up here 34 years ago to Mattawa and met my wife, Francine, which is a great lady, that's, the toughest fighter in the world to stick with a guy like me. But, we made it happen, and having that sign go up, I'm very humble and happy with a lot of pride to know that we have a door open for athletes to walk through, or people to walk through, to help them, direct them, find themselves, change their ways, and eat off of a healthy plate, making smart, healthy choices while developing discipline and respect in the same time.
Can you describe real quickly the different K1 and like at one level, at Josh's level, of course, he'll be able to use like say elbows, but at the lower levels beginning, they don't. Like, can you just sort of?
So there's A class, B class, and C class. We're with Wacko Canada, which is K1 and low leg kick, kickboxing. So low kick is no catching kicks. No kicking below the knee, no sweeps and knees. The next level, and there's 0 to 5 fighters, 5 fights, and then there's 5 to 10 fights, which is B, and then there's 10 to 20 fights, which is A class, and then there's open class, which is 20 fights or more, which is the prodigy matchups of K1 discipline, where you're allowed to catch a sweep and knee, no elbows, kick below the knee, and turn and twist and throw your partner. It's just another and that one would be with no helmet, no shin pads, just mouth guard and jock and gloves, 10-ounce gloves. And, they're very high level. They know how to protect themselves. There's minor time and movement or inches for error. So you really need to be on your toes and on your game, focused physically and mentally prepared, to go into this type of sport.
Yeah, the point I was hoping and you described is that the beginners play by different rules than the experienced guys for safety and ability, right?
Absolutely, yes. The C class are, they wear their gloves are 10 ounce. They have shin pads and helmets. And then as they develop and they get more experienced, they fight their way out of those shin pads into the A class, which coaches get to agree on an A class match. Do we want to fight with just helmet and no shin pads, or just shin pads and no helmet? So you can come to terms on that. And then once you pass that open class in the 20 fights or more in the prestige bouts, you're pro. You're fighting pro. You're bare shin, which is another level of hit.
Well, it's pretty exciting for me. Paul, you have any more questions?
No, I'm really fascinated. I think it's great to have events like that. I mean, we've been working on our side of baseball and stuff, trying to do it, and I know how exciting it is. I also know how much work it is. So good luck, and I think it's going to be a great fight. And for people that are looking, for that thing to do in town, don't just worry about, what's on TV. Get out, go be with other people, with other fight fans. Find out maybe who you didn't know was a fight fan and have a great time. So yeah, best of luck.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Well, you're competing that weekend against the Bay Block Party, but I think that people interested in fights might be able to see both. So it would be a great week. It would be a great weekend and to be in North Bay.
Yeah, well, we're hoping to have our weigh-ins be down on Maine for that day as well.
That's a great idea.
If I can make it happen, and one of the owners of a business down there is willing to work with us on that, we're going to make that happen.
Oh, excellent. Well, thanks for joining us today. We like to be able to announce when something exciting and new is coming to North Bay. I know we haven't had kickboxing in North Bay for quite a while. The last one I remember is Chantal Night on, I think, at the Gardens. And that was about 20 years ago at least. So...
time.
Yeah.
Time.
I used to have to go to Mattawa for the Voyageur days to see these fights. So it's a shorter drive for me this time.
That's right. Exactly what we're bringing to you, the people, and we always thank you for your support. And we're totally excited and can't wait. And thanks for keeping us included in your guys' podcast for today.
So have you ever been to a Stampede event there?
So I drive by Memorial Gardens at least twice a day, coming and going to the store, and sometimes more. So I had seen the post, and I thought that was really interesting. But again, busy week, so I didn't. I kind of lost track of it. I saw the setup where I started seeing the trailers, and then obviously they were trucking dirt in to build it, and then they built a stockyard in the parking lot. So I got to watch that. We're busy with the baseball. I knew we were going to get rained out, so I thought, oh well, I'll let all these teams from out of town know here's something that they can do while they're killing time. And I was just trying to make sure that I could find a ticket link or something, and it was sold out.
Sold out. It was packed.
Amazing. Yeah. Because
I've never seen so many cowboy hats in town.
Yeah. So tell me about it. You were there. Where did everybody come from? And when are we going to have another one? This is amazing.
Yeah, no, I think it was a total success for all the people that were involved, for sure. As far as I can figure, we have quite a bit of agricultural centers around here, from New Liskeard to in Quebec, Powassan, Verner, Sturgeon Falls. Those are all people that like to, get their hoe down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And great atmosphere. I wasn't sure what to expect. I was actually sitting in the wrong section there it was a perfect lane for my video camera. I was in section 2, about in the middle.
Okay.
And they were coming out of the far section.
Yep.
Then I found out I was, it's amazing how long I've been at Memorial Gardens and I don't have the sections in my head.
Yes.
Because I never sit. I always stand. And I always working around.
And
so
half the numbers came off.
Yeah, well, when you look up, the 2 looks like a 7 if somebody's standing in the way, right? So I was actually there trying to capture a friend of mine had his son was going to do the mutton busting, right, to ride the sheep.
Yeah.
And I really want to get some video of that, and we do have that, and some other stuff. I had some great angles for the bronco busting. But when I realized I got kicked out of my seat, I had to go find, and the seat I was supposed to have was in the wrong spot, kitty corner in section 7.
Yeah.
And that wasn't going to work for me. And I barely got to the right spot. But I didn't want to go up into the stands because I was going to miss it because they were starting to announce it. And it was one of those times where, you know, fortunately I have some experience in these things. You have to make do. Yeah. I found an angle where I was shooting through an open door that had a gate. Right, so I had that much room to shoot through to get what I needed, and I got it. Yeah, I was so happy, and it was great. I don't know. I had a lot of fun there. Yeah, I also knew that the storm was coming in. Yeah, and I got a little bit tired of shooting, and I decided to leave. Yeah, and I left just in time. I got home before the storm.
Okay. Yeah. No, I heard from some other people that went, and they said it was great. So
I put a post on Facebook that's saying I was going to go to it, and immediately there was a couple people that different kinds of animal lovers. Yeah. Okay. Where they feel that the rodeo is abusive, and that the animals are put under stress and they're scared and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So they made some commentary there. But what I said was, if I'm a sheep and waiting to get slaughtered, I don't want to be sitting on a peaceful pasture. I want a chance to buck some little snot-nosed kid off me to at least go down fighting, right?
I could not agree more. Yeah. You know, I think maybe some people look past how many burgers we consume or how much leather's in our life. Again, I don't know enough to speak on it, but yeah, I think it is. I think there's a lot of people there that, you know, love the land and love these animals because they use them to work, and they're integral parts of their lives every day.
So somebody I know that used to work out west there, they were telling me that what people don't understand or they don't appreciate is that these animals are actually like the bronco busting, the horses are treated like athletes and cared for very, like, you have to care for these animals. Yeah. And you have to love them to do that. And whether or not it seems that they're not into it, well, you see them before the event. Yeah. You see them when somebody's on them and they don't want it on them. Yep. And they buck them off. And then after that, they're cool. They're just okay. I did my thing, and I'm going to go. I know I get treated well over here, but I did my job over here. I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with animals being used for. I'm more okay with that than the bullfighting.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. I mean, I think the first couple episodes or seasons of Yellowstone were entertaining. It started to get a little off the rails by the end. But, you know, one of those themes that kind of comes out there is the respect that they have for the animals. And again, when that's your livelihood, and that's how you not only feed yourself and, you know, live your life in the land. So, you know, you see that. And I don't think that always gets recognized in an urban setting so much. So
I was making jokes on Facebook, and one of the things I thought was funny is that I don't mind being around all these cowboys because they're walking and limping worse than I am. Yeah. Right, so I kind of fit in a little bit. Like
they want to know about your rodeo injury.
Yeah. Where did this one come from? I can make up a story. But anyways, we got some eye candy. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the North Bay Stampede comes back. Anytime you can fill the Memorial Gardens, sold out, and everybody had a good time, you got something there. So that's economic development. That's tourism. That's real.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if they'd like to leave behind any tips for how they did that, I'm sure there's more than a few groups in town that would love to take some notes and see how to execute that in their own. So yeah, fantastic and
good event.
Hopefully we'll see that again next year. Make sure to put that on the calendar.
Well, that's our Echo Sportscast number 41. What do you think of that?
I guess we give it a yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay. And I love it. Yeah, for sure. I think giddy up go.
Yeah. Fantastic. No, we'll rodeo on out of here, and we'll see everybody next week.
I was going to say something really controversial, but I did enjoy seeing the Cowgirls.
Yeah. No. Hey.
And I wish I took some video of the barrel racing. It was great. I'm looking forward to my next event where I can outside. And I think it's in Powassan.
Okay.
Usually around Labor Day, I think. So we'll double check that and maybe we'll cover some of it.
That'd be great. I'd love to do that. Get some cowboy boots and a good hat. I'll try to not stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I won't wear my baseball hat next time. Anyways, have a good day. Like, comment. If you sport didn't get covered, send us a note. Send it to Chris at northbayecho.ca.